Hear that? That's the opening track to Disney's 1950 film rendition of the age-old classic story and fairy tale, Cinderella. Starting from humble beginnings, Cinderella is a victim of cruel mistreatment by her stepsisters Anastasia and Gisela, not to mention her stepmother, Lady Tremaine. Now, despite her unfortunate circumstances, Cinderella prevails with a kind and resilient role model who takes a liking to animals, who, later in the movie, play a big role in helping and coming to her aid. With the help of her fairy godmother, Cinderella escapes the wrath of her stepfamily, in which she is able to attend the royal ball, a dream she has as soon as it's mentioned, and catches the undivided attention of the prince. In an attempt to flee the scene before her godmother's blessings and magic wears off, Cinderella loses a glass slipper and never tells the prince of her identity. The next day, the prince searches the kingdom for his lost maiden and unknown bride. Now, once found, the princess and Cinderella get married happily ever after, but not without some meddling from her stepfamily, of course. Yet Cinderella proves to be a wonderful role model for all young audiences.
If you were born after the 1930s, chances are you looked up to a Disney character.
I saw your movie 3 times!
Whether because they were a good person,
Hello, I am Baymax, your personal healthcare companion.
or because we were young.
She's really good.
Disney has always entertained us and give us role models to look up to. Enter Cinderella. Cinderella's stepsisters and stepmother always treated her unfairly because they were jealous of her. Even though they were supposed to live as a family, they made her and forced her to be a maid, clean around the house, do all the chores, do all the cooking, and would always call for her. Running up and down all around the house to get all the house chores done. She had to clean the floors, and even the cat would step in the dust she would just swept.
Oh, Lucifer! You mean old thing?
The royal court announces that there's going to be a ball hosted by the king, and all the women are invited no matter the status. Cinderella is enthusiastic about the news and quickly tells her stepmother. Her stepsister's here, and they are not happy that Cinderella is also going to be able to attend the ball.
I honored your highness. Would you mind holding my broom?
When she asks for permission, her stepmother tells her that she can only attend if she finishes all her chores. Emphasize on the if.
Oh. If.
Cinderella rushes upstairs and she gets on her chores, but she has so many chores that she thinks that she's not going to be able to go. She wants to use her mother's dress, but she doesn't have time to fix it up. She goes on to do her chores while her animal friends fix it up for her. When she goes back upstairs and sees the surprise that they have for her, she goes down quickly, ready to go to the royal ball. However, her stepmother doesn't allow her. She tells her that a royal ball is unfit for her because of the way that she dressed. She notices that the pearls and the ribbon on her dress were of her daughters, and her daughters don't hesitate to just rip them off. Cinderella is left with a ripped dress, not able to attend the ball, and she runs away crying.
Within the movie, Cinderella is constantly shown to be kind no matter what. As my colleague previously stated, Cinderella's stepfamily treated her horribly. Yet one of the interesting things about Cinderella is the fact that she never adopts horrible traits from her family. Despite having to experience mistreatment since her early childhood as her stepmother took over, one of the key defining points of Cinderella is the fact that she's so kind to everyone despite how they treat her. She befriends and takes care of mice and other animals that live around the house, and they become friends with her. Even though she doesn't have to be nice, she still does it. She treats her stepmother and sisters with kindness and heeds their call because of the niceties. And although this can seem as a weakness by some, this trait of hers is actually shown to provide more good and is the key to her happy ending, as her kindness pays off in the future. Midway through the movie, we are shown the stepsisters practicing their singing, which is very out of tune.
Oh, sing
The camera then transitions over to show Cinderella, hard at work, scrubbing the floors in her angelic voice. She is continually compared to her loud and jealous sisters with her calm, composed, and positive manners. Cinderella never tries to copy her sister's behavior and fight fire with fire. She continues on, never lashes out, but instead keeps a positive attitude. Including her family, Cinderella is nice to all of her other friends at home. Because of her niceties, the animals within the home all do their best to make Cinderella happy and do whatever they can to help. This is seen when Cinderella plans to go to the ball, yet her family keeps her so busy, she never gets a chance to create her dress.
Oh, well, guess my dress will just have to wait.
Cinderella! Cinderella!
But thanks to our kindness shown to the animals, they all come together to create the dress for Cinderella to show their appreciation. Once again, thanks to her pure heart and kindness, Cinderella is granted a fairy godmother, and she can give Cinderella a ride to the ball and fix her dress.
I'd say the first thing you need is, a pumpkin.
A pumpkin?
Mm-hmm. Now, the magic words.
Once again, Cinderella's kindness pays off as she is locked in a room by her stepmother, so she cannot be found out the glass slipper that was lost at the ball was hers. Her animal friends struggle for Cinderella by climbing up the stairs, which to them are mountains, and uniting to fight the cat that had once been traumatizing them the entire movie. Yet for Cinderella, the animals confront their fears of the cat just so Cinderella may have a chance at happiness, and thanks to their efforts, they are successful, as Cinderella tries on the glass slipper and meets her Prince Charming. To become a role model, a character must contain a sense of relatability. A viewer wants to be able to see similarities between themselves and their model. Cinderella does just that. She comes from humble beginnings, has people around her that mistreat her, is forced to do chores by her parents, but most importantly, she shows emotion. She is at her lowest just after her family leaves her to go to the ball and she runs off crying. A role model must also build off this personal connection to elevate themselves to what their viewer wants to embody.
Thank you. Thank you so much for everything.
The positive elements of Cinderella's characters aren't just limited to kindness. She also shows care and compassion. In her honors thesis, Alexandria Eileen Luke states, Cinderella is a positive role model because she overcomes the abusive challenges presented by her family and because she never gives up, ultimately achieves success. In her group, Cinderella serves as the caretaker. Being the only human among a group of mice, she's the biggest and strongest out of all of them. Where Lucifer the cat uses his advantage to prey on and terrorize the little mice, Cinderella uses her abilities to support them, like saving Gus Gus from Lucifer's mice trap. To complete her story, and to continue inspiration of a younger generation, she achieves her happily ever after to show that you can reach your dreams.
Now, while we do believe that Cinderella is an amazing role model for its younger audience, not everyone quite agrees. There are those out there that believe Cinderella is actually the cause of modern abuse. What? I know. The argument these people make is the role of Cinderella and characters like her are too submissive. This leads to people who have Cinderella as a role model to find themselves in relationships where they believe that they can change the person they're with. A quote from The Guardian states that overexposure in childhood to stories that emphasize the transformational qualities of love may make women believe they can change their partners, as well as going on to explain that role models such as Hermione from Harry Potter are far better role models, as their independence is much better examples for their audience and leads them to be less submissive. But this is why they're wrong. Now, I believe this is wrong because it is not only me, but others believe that too, as Cinderella is not just submissive and weak, but her ability to see happiness, find happiness, and no matter what, not give up through the face of adversity is what makes her strong and what makes her a great role model. As a Daily Titan from Fullerton College states, and I believe they say it best, while Cinderella's story is not meant to condone abuse, it shows that there is strength in choosing to create happiness in a world that is cruel. Now that's beautiful, if you ask me. I mean, creating something from nothing is what Cinderella does. Finding her happiness, finding friends from a situation where most people would think hopeless, dire, and would give up, Cinderella doesn't. Being able to face adversity, being able to continue on, and being able to eventually find her Prince Charming is what makes her a strong role model for these young audiences. And so while others might think that she's too submissive, me and many others like me believe that she is an excellent role model for these young children. She is strong, kind, and exactly what I want my kids watching.
In the end, Cinderella is a tale about perseverance and kindness. She displays qualities that people find themselves fawning after, and her actions make her a role model that children can look up to. Even 70 years after its initial release, Cinderella is still making waves, whether it's through a new remake, a cosplay, or even an interaction at Disneyland. Cinderella's reward for her resilience throughout her unfair treatment shows every story has its humble beginnings. Cinderella endures the mistreatment of her stepfamily, but still finds true love. Despite her rough origin, the prince still wants Cinderella no matter what. Her relatability to those in a similar situation shows hope to those trying to find their own happily ever after. If Cinderella can do it, you can do it too. Disney shows that even a servant could be the next Cinderella, and that good things come to good people. And remember, if you keep on believing, the dream you wish will come true.
A dream is a wish your heart makes when you're fast asleep. In dreams you will lose your heartache. Whatever you wish for, you keep.
And remember, if you keep on believing, the dream you wish will come true. The hell? Should I redo the last part? Yeah.